Aries, welcome to your Intimate Tarot reading. What's up? What's going on? For those of you who are new to the channel and you'd like to know why I read Intimate Tarot, specifically sexual energy, what it's about, what you can expect from it, whom it benefits, that kind of thing, it will be outlined for you in great detail in the description box. Yes, we left no stone unturned, and I understand why. Not everybody's comfortable with the subject. I get it. It's Intimate Tarot, right? But I operate from the philosophy of the more you know, and everything begins with the self. And I think and believe that all energy types are real, valid, and important to who we are as people. Thus, to stand to reason, we want to know how it's affecting others too. That kind of thing. But yeah, most people will tell you they're really not too dissimilar from general love readings. They just have additional layers of the intimate aspect attached to it, such as sexual energy, descriptions, function, that kind of thing. There you go. That's it. I highly recommend you check out the description box. And if it's not your jam, if it's not your cup of tea, cool. I have plenty of other readings that you can catch up on. Yeah, there you go. For those folks who have been around, welcome back. Like always, take what resonates, leave it as not, right? Reverse those energies as you see fit. These are, after all, general collective readings, not one-to-one private, which is to say they may not resonate at all. Frustrating but normal. Check your other placements. You will find yourself in there somewhere. Alrighty, Roo, what's going on? Show me the Aries sexual energy, please. Show me Aries. Show me Aries. What's going on? One more, I think. Show me Aries. Okay, starting with you. Oh, Six of Swords and the Three of Wands. Oh, yes. The Hermit. Okay. The Three of Swords. The Hierophant. Okay. Right. Eight of Wands. Death. Yeah. Two of Cups. And the Seven of Wands. Okay. Okay. First of all, I did Sag, and they had a very powerful reading. Death was literally in the same position, and I shuffle these many, many times in between readings, never mind what you see on camera. So just FYI, if you have Sag in your chart, perhaps check theirs out. Yours, like the sexual energy here, isn't, and it hasn't for a long time. For a long time. And you kind of stopped waiting for it to come back around, to make more sense to you. I don't know. But you've also had your eye on the horizon for some time too, already kind of shifting your sexual energy forward from whatever it is it's prepared to leave behind. That's you in summary. Okay, of course we'll clarify. The Hermit, right there, dead center for that sexual energy. We're currently healing it. It doesn't look engaged at the moment, okay? But we are strongly holding up that lantern and looking back on past experiences of our sexual energy and how we relate to it specifically. And the Hermit's trying to inform you a little bit more every day about direction, guidance, what you've learned, this kind of thing. But keeping it to yourself because you're trying to learn from it. Specifically, I think, an approximation to your next move, where it's going. Three of Swords, the Hierophant. You know, someone here feels rejected. Spiritually, emotionally, sexually. There could be a commitment here. I need to clarify further, okay? I don't always assume that when I see him, but it's kind of like officially this hurts, or officially this is heartbreak, or officially this is rejection, okay? Rejection of the sexual self, the spiritual self, something like that. Eight of Wands, Death, the Two of Cups. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, the communication, also the Eight of Wands is the physical action of sexuality, has not been communicated and or expressed physically well, or it won't transform, or it's just done. It's just done. We don't want to talk to this anymore. We don't want to give our sexual energy towards it anymore. Now, of course, death doesn't always that. Sometimes it does represent, like I said, transformation. It just, I need to clarify that Two of Cups and see perhaps why the transformative effect isn't taking, okay? Because there is still a claimant here of love. And the Seven of Wands is in the outcome. I still sing, nah, no. That's a big old nah. Seven of Wands is the outcome, nah. Boundaries, walls, thou shalt not pass. Sexual energy otherwise, okay? So, we're going to start right here with your side of the fence. Let's go ahead and take a look at your Six of Swords. First card down, Six of Swords. First thing as a reader, you should have two thoughts. What are you leaving behind, and what are you trying to enter into? No pun intended. Let's see that Six of Swords, please. Show me that Six of Swords. All right, back up, Chief. I will get to you. All right. Let's see that Six of Swords. Show me that Six of Swords, please. Mentally started taking a more intimate self and pulling away. That happened over time. The High Priestess, the Page of Cups, the Fool. Yeah, your sexual energy no longer points in someone's particular direction. It's extremely clear. So the High Priestess and sexual energy is simply kind of like our sexual GPS, right? Attraction's easy. Super easy, right? No disrespect to your fire sign, but Page of Wands, Ace of Wands, this is easily seen, noted, felt. The High Priestess says, go a little further. Emotionally. Just be quiet. Observe. Feel your way around this. And right now your sexual GPS is like this. We're leaving this. New beginning, the Fool. We're ready to open up ourselves elsewhere. Very distinct, but you're allowing your intuition to guide you. Okay? And that's after a long period of waiting, mind you, which I'm not a big fan of. Not a big fan of, but the point is that, again, in this position, cleverly attached to that Six of Swords, said you did your time waiting for improvement or for something to come through, follow through, that felt easier, better, or more correct. That time of waiting is now over, and we are now looking forward to other horizons. Okay, so let's see that Three of Wands here. Your sexual energy was on hangback mode, hanging back, waiting for a long time. And that, of course, is what gave you plenty of room to drift. Do you see how one affects the other? The more that sexual energy is kind of stuck on standby mode, always waiting for it and never seeing the results of waiting, it was a matter of time before you started to get mentally consolidated about moving forward. Even your intuition's like, this way, just not that way. Okay? You can give up the watch. You don't need to be on watch anymore. And obviously this is more than just sexual energy at this point. There's going to be a whole story behind this, and your Hermit's working on it, I believe. All right. Once more, check out the description box. Let's see that Three of Wands. The Knights of Swords, the Queen of Cups, the willingness to take action for the name of love. What more in the name of love? Lest we forget pride, U2, Bono's singing his heart out. You know, it's like, what else in the name of love? So you hung back for a long time in the name of love. And you meant it. You meant it, honey, until your poor heart couldn't mean it anymore. That's the problem when we leave people waiting or in suspension too long and we volunteer or someone asks, regardless. You cannot participate in weight structure unless you indeed participate. Okay? So I don't care how the waiting started. I just know that it was long enough for you to show me a very simplified process of, I no longer wish to be in this position, in summary. I shouldn't have to wait for love, be it intimate or emotional. But you did because you do love this person. See that Two of Cups right there? The Queen of Cups, Knight of Swords, she's like, I wouldn't hesitate if called to action, sexually or emotionally, for this person. I never got out of wait mode. They never called me to action, emotionally or sexually. But you hung in there for love. You did. You did until you couldn't, honey. And you're showing me remarkable consolidation. So you must be doing some advanced work already with the Hermit. I'm going to jump on over here to this person. Let's see that Three of Swords. Let's see that Three of Swords. And like I said, your point of observation for that Three of Wands is this is what I was looking and waiting for. And now I'm looking outwards, projecting it elsewhere, where my love and my sense of sexual direction can be better utilized, experienced, connected to. You know, let's say that Three of Swords. How the tides have turned. Yes. Let's say that Three of Swords, please. Let's do one more. So that Three of Swords. This one's okay. This is coming across as complicated. What is this? The Emperor. Queen of Swords, not very giving. Not very giving. Partnership is Three of Swords, Emperor and Empress, Queen of Swords. That's a bit of a contradiction compared to what I've just seen. Why is this so problematic if there's such a high regard? Let's jump on over here to the Hierophant. Let's see that Hierophant, please. 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 It's stiff, no pun intended here, but that's not a point. Page of Wands, Seven of Wands, Knight of Pentacles. This person had no intention of giving you their sexual energy because they're in a commitment of some type. That's why they have a rejection. They're saying, it's a shame, I can't have this. That's why they feel rejected, is because they technically are. They had no intention of ever giving you that sexual energy. It's being relegated to someone else. That connection looks cold. It's not my business. I can just tell you this in summary. Aries, honey, there's too many cooks in that fucking kitchen. There's too many cooks in that kitchen. Their sexual energy, out of sense of commitment, obligation, and or duty, was blocked to you, and it always was. It was always going to have a minimal experience and or effect. But somehow it was stretched out over time. That's what's bizarre to me. So why were they connected to you? Okay. This is why you had to move on, and this is why I'm seeing such a suspended state. Your intuition was telling you, move on from this. They're not worth the emotional or sexual investment or looking towards them. And like I said, for you, you've been breaking away from this for some time. I don't even understand how you were physically connected to it, just to see you being in suspension of it. So what, did they keep you hanging on with the energy play? You know, was there occasional little fire spark there? Because I just see your process is being done with it. And I even said you're remarkably consolidated about what it is you're supposed to do. So you really had a long time. You really had a long time to understand that you needed to detach from this, whatever the hell it was. Because there's just too many cooks in that kitchen. So I'm happy that they're connected to their equal, but they kind of got what they deserve here, because as far as I can tell, it's cold and detached and very rejecting. Okay? But hey, they're of equal status. So that means by all rights they deserve each other. Yes, of course. Of course they're going to reject you sexually or any other sort of... But here's the thing, guys. That wall was always there. That boundary was always in place over a long period of time. They had to keep a firm disposition or energy towards you. Even finding ways to keep themselves energetically connected to you. Why? Well, let's see what you discovered. Because as far as I can tell, you've cleared the process. You cleared that hurdle however long ago. This has lost any meaning or context to you. And you hung in there on standby for love. And now you move that forward into other things. Let's say that Hermit. So what allowed you to wait for this at all? Or what put you in a position of feeling that you allowed it? Because you love them. Because you could feel that something with them. I don't know. I'm not trying to judge you. I'm trying to understand. Which I believe I do. Let's see that Hermit and what you have learned. Eight of Wands, the King of Swords, the Hierophant. There it is again. You're learning a lot about the communication and reflection and healing. They insisted on communicating with you for their own particular reasons. They feel committed to this connection to you in some way. It seems to be a kind of spiritual devotional thing. They kept willfully the lines of communication open with you. You see that now as the Hermit. It's ironically, it's those same words that are helping you heal. You can remember those words now. You can see those words now. And how this person always put up a kind of firm wall between you and them whilst they were communicating with you. So the Eight of Wands in Intimate Tarot isn't just sexy communication. It's that. But it's also physical. However, it was always officious or official. There was always a distance between you and them, no matter what the words were or any sort of participation. Whatever the participation was physically, you understand? There was always that determination to continue to speak with you, to continue to interact with you, but it was always kept at a distance. You see that now with the Hermit. You see it. You reflect on it, and whether they meant it or not, you're using those same words, those same conversations, as a way to heal yourself, which is brilliant, by the way. I completely agree with this, and I understand it in my own way. That same determination you showed to communicate with me and keep this going, I now see it for what it is, and it's helping me heal fantastically. It's like you're saying you understand this person's role, their level of participation, how their words affected you, and how it kept you going. I would say that's a long period. That's a long period to mentally detach. That's a long period to kind of shift your sexual self into another direction, to be open to other things. My curiosity here, look at that. You see the ending of the words, the ending of the action? The love remains in some way, perhaps. Maybe. You're saying that's not enough to justify any further connectivity between you and I. They had the reasons for keeping lines of communication open to you, and therefore the intrigue and the sexual passion. But it was always a kind of stiff, again, no pun intended, experience between you and them. Very formal. So at best, what I can say for this person, despite the fact that they are very much in a committed something, they have, for reasons I don't quite understand, a sense of spiritual devotion to you. And I think that's why they kept insisting on communication here and there, or whatever that took. Okay, whatever line that took. Well, you might show me further. Let's see that Eight of Wands. Let's see that's Eight of Wands, please. But the sexual energy was blocked. It was always going to be blocked. I'm going to go ahead and take a guess that whomever that they're... This is just based on what I'm seeing here and the kind of coldness of the sexual energy between these two. Most likely they were trying to soothe that particular gap by keeping the lines of communication open with you. Is that what I'm saying? The assuaging of one's pride and sense of, well, at least I can get some sort of supplement to my sexual energy. Is that what that is? I put good money on that. Let's see that Eight of Wands. Let's see that Eight of Wands. Honey, you're not anyone's fill in the blank. You're not anyone's filler. You're not someone's marital rescue for what's lacking in their bed. Okay? I know you already know this, but just to make it 1000% clear. And it looks very formal. It looks extremely formal. I bet the conversations between you and this person were legit and clean, right? But every now and again, the tension would leak out or the words would leak out, right? Am I right? Mm-hmm. Let's see the Eight of Wands, please. Mm-hmm. Let's see the Eight of Wands. You're not a Botox injection, honey. You're not anybody's lip filler or passion filler. Judgment. Ace of Wands. Queen of Wands. Yep. Oh, there it is. There it is. There's the truth of it. Behind all that officiousness, which once more, that communication, you're using those memories and what you've learned as a healing element. Bravo. That's fantastic. People ask me, what do you mean you give yourself closure? You're doing exactly this. You look at what you learned. Bravo. Eight of Wands, Judgment, Ace of Wands, Queen of Wands, someone showing to class. Here's the thing. There were lessons in this, all right. The attraction was ridiculous. That's reflection on you. Okay? This was why they kept the line of communication open. You're reflecting on this, and here's the hearts of it. It was straight up attraction. I don't care how official this person looked. I don't care how tight-lipped. I don't care how tidy their energy was. The truth of the matter is they were deeply, deeply, deeply attracted to you. So you're a little bit more than a passion filler for what this person's clearly lacking in whatever their construct is. And there's a lesson in this. Be honest with the words. Be honest with what you're experiencing. See it for what it is. It was very deep attraction that was 100% aimed at you. That's where it was coming from. They know this. They have a lesson. They've been through this before. This person. They've been through this before about being careful with their words and their energy, because the behind it was the real deep, hot attraction. No matter how tidy and official they made it look. They've been through this before with judgment. Words have power. No matter how carefully you try to articulate it or how careful you try to contain your energy, words and the meaning behind them still have power. So this is where I'm seeing the leakage, and it ran both sides. About special words, special looks, etc. Sometimes things got a little heated there in the communication. After that, I don't know. It's fuzzy. But we have a lesson in that communication directly tied to this person, and you are reflecting on them and how they likely did this before. And that is what really boosted your healing, hasn't it? That's what really boosted your healing. I'm not saying you're perfect. I'm not saying you got it down pat. What I'm saying, it boosted your healing. When they realized there's special words for you, there's a good chance they used them with someone else too. But here's what's weird. When it comes to you, they show me a certain level of spiritual devotion. You may or may not be aware of that piece. That's what's interesting to me. Let's see, death. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, but I'm kind of curious. P.S. By the way, I see how it ties together, but yeah, once more, you are aiming towards new. All right? I was very curious about what you had learned, otherwise I wouldn't have bothered with that 8 of Wands, but you learned quite a bit. Very good. Let's see death, please. Seven of Swords, the King of Swords, Judgment. Yeah, I mean, you kind of called them on their bullshit, so you shut everything down. You're kind of saying, I see the truth of your thoughts, even if you won't admit them. And you weighed up the scales and you said they're not fair, they're not balanced. You're saying you cut out the bullshit, shady thoughts. Seven of Swords, here's the truth, King of Swords. So, truth is, you're full of shit, and I know you're full of shit. That's it. And the King of Swords called this out. Called it out. Seven of Swords, the misgivings, the doubts, the way we kind of lean away from certain truths. King of Swords pulled rank and said, this is bullshit, death. This isn't fair. And you know what? I'm doing myself justice. You're right. I don't know what your level of participation was. I do know that you had real love for this until you didn't. And that took time. All I see here, guys, is communication that sometimes spilled over into the hot and steamy division. Okay? Like not a romance novel, erotic. I believe. I'm not trying to cast judgment. I'm just trying to understand. So once more, guys, I don't care. I don't care how strong the pull was here. And it was a very strong pull. You see that now. The fact of the matter is, we get to choose our level of participation. They got to choose to uphold their end of the communication to keep you interested and to kind of massage whatever bullshit they experience personally at home. And you got to choose to respond. Okay? Do better. Just don't. Right? Just don't. And you did. You shut it down. You shut it down. I am curious about what feeling here remains for you at this point, if it does at all. Let's see that Two of Cups. Show me that Two of Cups. Eight of Swords, Six of Cups, and the Page of Swords. Someone here lacks insight about the bond. That would explain it. That would explain that weird sense of spiritual devotion this person has and why they tried to keep the line of communication open, but you already kind of called them out. It's like, hey, you've done this with me and you've probably done this with other folks. I think you're correct. I know you're correct because it's a lesson tied to their communication. In other words, you should know better. But they weren't done learning that lesson. There was like, this is the soul bond. Try not to fuck it up. That would explain the spiritual devotion they have towards you to this day, even though you've clearly disconnected, and I don't know when the hell you did it. It was, you opened up with it. You opened up ready for a new emotional and sexual journey. Good. You know what you're supposed to look forward to, but you also understand clearly where you came from. Good. Excellent. So there's that Two of Cups. Lack of insight about the spiritual connection. You understood the love for what it was. They did not. Okay? And by fuck it up, I mean we could have found another way to navigate this connection. Appreciated it better at the emotional level instead of just assuming it was all attraction, that kind of shit. But if someone failed to learn the lesson, it's going to be one of those things you don't know what you've got till it's gone, and this is how it's different, and we learn it later, right? But that would explain the weird sort of spiritual devotion this person had. They felt it, but they didn't know how to define it, and that's because we refused to understand what this meant to us, specifically over time. We had lots of time to reflect on this, and there's no excuse for this lack of knowledge. You learned it. They didn't, and I believe it remains convoluted and confusing to this day. When somebody does the work, it shows. When somebody doesn't do the work and they're just kind of sitting there holding themselves in their hand, I mean, it shows. Lack of insight, confusion. The memories get all mixed up, and the feeling was same the whole time. The feeling was same the whole time. You've already been through all this. You've already been through all this. How do you think you've been able to let it go? Is it because you kept denying it, or is it because you worked through it? No, you worked through it. You see it for what it was. Okay? And I'm sorry. It's just, this whole thing could have been prevented had this person learned their lessons, and you, having known better with an intuitive feeling and such a strong heart, just don't. Just don't. Or you two could have found another way to build your relationship that was healthier, with a stronger appreciation for the soul bond. You see what I'm saying? So everybody here had their parts to play. Good news for you is that I believe you're more or less done learning your part. And that is fantastic. So, that Seven of Wands in the outcome, I mean, it continues to be blocked to this day, as it should. Because no change plus no change equals no change. And I don't think that this person has done any sort of insight. All right. That's okay. That's why I'm saying it. So I already say, why the hell am I saying it then? Three of Wands, Six of Wands, Three of Pentacles. With a certain level of confidence, I don't understand where it's coming from. Perhaps ego. I don't know. They take a weird sort of pride in saying it's no big deal. It was just a friend. I never gave into it. I'm sure you're going to have to tell yourself that, especially when you use someone else's energy to make you feel better about your marriage. But, you know, what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? Pride, ego gets in the way. Those elements are here. Also a certain sense of cockiness. But deep down inside, inherently, they're still waiting on you to come back and make peace. Good luck with that. So, guys, just moral of the story here. When a connection's different, it is different. It behooves us to understand it in a different way as opposed to, well, this is just straight up sexual attraction. That's all that is. We need to understand and regulate against ourselves what we're experiencing, feeling, and thinking, and why. And then we can better understand instead of waiting about what it is we should be doing, shouldn't be doing, what we can bother with, what we can't bother with, and is there common ground? Is there a way to work with this connection and not make it about the sexual attraction as opposed to honoring the connection that it is? Instead of it's just this friend that I had the hots for sometimes, you know, but I blocked it. Yeah, they did. They're very proud of that point. They never gave into it sexually is their biggest point. Yeah, they did. They gave into it via communication, which they have a direct lesson in. They've done it before. Maybe they need to start looking at who they align themselves with. Because if it's so satisfying, why are they searching elsewhere? And then they found you. Seems to me they learned that lesson one time too many. You know what I'm saying? One time too many, excuse me. But yeah, deep down underneath all that rejection and denial, they're hoping that in kind of ego way, the Aries will just wait. They'll come back around. Make peace, etc. Honey, I'm more interested in where you're taking yourself next, you know? On a windy day, might have been of some level of significance and or importance. Within 18 months. 18 months of what? Since you left on a Monday, for some of you. It's been 18 months to process this. We did have a lot of time, and therefore the advantage to do ourselves justice and look at this accordingly. So you learned what you needed to learn, so your odds of repeating this kind of thing again are way down, if not completely... What's this? I have no idea how this one got here. This is from the Tridevia Tarot deck, referenced a couple times. Somehow got mixed in with the time cards. For some of you, congratulations. You closed that particular window 18 months ago, and you're feeling a lot freer, a lot better, a lot more reinvigorated, which means you're on the precipice of a new beginning. When one door closes or window slams shut, etc., another opens. Some of you are coming upon your 18 marker. 18 years, 18 months, 18 weeks, 18 seasons. I have no clue, but congratulations. It will be finalized soon. There you go. Very good. Congratulations, guys. I have one motto, you know. You get the big fuck-ups once. After that, it's not a fuck-up, right? It's only a failure if we refuse to learn. But don't allow mistakes to become patterns, right? I don't know how far this went. As far as I could tell, it didn't go beyond communication because they're quite proud of the fact that they blocked their own physical sexual energy. Yeah, but not the spirit of it. And then, to add insult to injury, completely failed to appreciate the connection for what it was and why they still feel spiritually devoted to it. Because it was a little bit more about getting their rocks off with you. That's why. Anyway, that little arrogance piece toward the end, not gonna lie, kind of pissed me off. Wrath. Yeah, like so. Oh, I see that. Right about here at death, I mean, you called him out on the bullshit, and you called a spade, you laid something out the way it was, as it was, without too much of a filter on there, and you gave yourself justice that day. So while it may have come across as angry and pissy, the fact of the matter is, you did yourself a good day, a good service that day. There's a wrath. They might say you're the one in wrath because you were the one left out. Yeah, I bet that's what we would have to say for the price of being honest. I've done it before. And that's what happens when you don't learn your lessons. You're going to do it again, just now you're going to up the stakes. That's what I'm saying. Okay, we had strong sense of passion here, I have no doubt. 17 trials and then transgression. Yeah, there was a transgression here. We were taken, granted, passion got in the way. There was always this sense of trial, always a strong sense of separation and just waiting and longing for the days to come. It was a transgression upon one's sexual energy. You transformed, you shed your skin, and you moved away from this. You can see it for what it is. It was a constant state of perpetual longing. It's almost like it's coming across as a really bad romance novel. I'm just out here waiting forever and always. And it felt good for them to know that you were in their hand or their hat or their pocket in some way. But officially, I'm just talking to Aries. That's it. That's all I'm doing. My ass. And I have a nice ass, too. I wouldn't bet on it too often, but yeah, my ass. Okay. You can call me arrogant. I'm at peace with it. I know what I put into my body. That was pun intended. Okay. Religious factors. There's that Hierophant energy again. Oh, yes. We look very officially married. I got it. Or engaged. The point is commitment. Okay. Wedding. Lockdown. Okay. Under all the psychological, emotional bullshit, let me tell you what's going on. Just in summary. Whether this person wanted to acknowledge it or not, they were using you as fuel for what looks like a cold and sexually absent or inconsistent marriage. But they have their equal, so again, they got what they deserve there. And then the second part was failing to understand that this connection had a lot more deeper meaning to it. Most likely the one that got away. Like, here is your equal. Okay? But we're too busy denying this and learning from the past. That not everything is as straightforward as it appears to be, i.e. attraction. So you can go ahead and reject it and deny it. But the fact of the matter is you're more their emotional and spiritual equal than anything else. So, of course, what is it? It gets summarized into passion. Guys, I got it. But here's the thing. You learned your lessons. I want you to continue to move on. Keep an open mind. I can tell that they were different from you. See, I feel like they're with somebody just like them. I do. You're different. You're different. And that difference we probably got racked up to. It's nothing but sexual attraction. Just a lot of it. They're different from you. Age, race, ethnicity, language, culture. Right? You were different. That's what soul bonds are. They're unique. Not just outward appearance, but how the exchange happens. So not only did they shoot themselves what looks like permanently from their true equal, they have the nerve to think, I didn't give into it. But eventually, I'm sure Aries will make friends with me again. In for a penny, in for a pound. Right? Dig her heels in with that dialogue, not learning a damn thing from it. Okay. Okay, we have the medallion of Gemini, Octopus, the mysterious one, the unknown, the unseen, and then unseen emotional grips, not in the depths. Yeah, see, this is that there's that sense of devotion. There's the bat, the proper signal of honing in on one's mate, and we completely and utterly failed to recognize it based on past experiences from one refusing to learn and summarizing. It was all about passion. Okay, we have the turning of the leaves. Fall might have been very important for some of you. And then we have the big masculine glasses once more. Aries, honey, I really just want you to focus on your new beginning. That was your point of entry and opening here. And it has shown up consistently. It's still with you in future, just no longer with this. Okay? There you go. Learn from this. That way you don't repeat the same mistakes that happened to you. Okay? Don't be like the person who wronged you, because then you really will have failed. Okay? Incorporate your lessons and do what this person failed to do, and that is learn from them so you don't repeat them. You always get to choose your level of participation. I know things get confusing when they get stretched out over times like this. We have ample opportunity as human beings to convince ourselves of things, particularly feelings and thoughts and motivation for waiting. That's the big one. That's the one I preach to people a lot, but you've learned that. So continue to keep the lesson at the forefront of you like a shield, okay? It will serve you well. Okay, Aries, honey, you can either see this one as being horribly negative, or you can see it for what it is. You learned what you need to learn, and you did the right thing in the end. Okay? Okay, I do hope this helped you. Put it in the comments. Take care. Be well.